What is going, guys? It's H Dynasty Bus, video 4 of our rookie series. This will be on tight ends. Give you my top 5 tight ends with grades and draft capital projections. I like to look at mainly three things when we look at the tight ends, right? We look at their athleticism, their blocking, route running, with catching and production. So, in my opinion, this tight end class is not as elite as has been hyped up to be. For me, we know that we're not very good at picking tight ends and them being good in the first round. Historically, tight ends get better and better, but they're not really good until about their, fourth or fifth year. Basically, their second contract is when they actually get good. So if we look at guys at the top, like Kelsey, Andrews, um, Hawkinson, guys like that. It took them a while just to get going, and they weren't good right off the gate. For me, there's only been one in recent era, which being Kyle Pitts, that has come in day one, is productive, does everything you need him to do and more. A special player. I don't see that with any of these guys in this draft. And as I go through them, I'll go ahead and explain why too, and when see some of the issues that I see in some of these guys. All right, without further ado, let's get this final video. NFL draft week, NFL draft day today. Let's see what some of these tight ends go in the first round or not. All right, let's get it. All right, and my tight end one for this year is Darnell Washington. For me, Washington, I think, has the most potential of all these guys. He's great blocking, freak athlete. Yes, I know the production was questionable, but when given opportunity, he capitalized on them every single time. Being behind Brock Bowers basically would be like, Bijan Robinson and Roschon Johnson. In my opinion, Washington is like better than Roschon, but being behind an elite generational type prospect and beating them out is very difficult. Yeah, I don't see any of these tight ends reaching Kyle Pitts level. And if we're going to use our first round picks, we can't wait on these guys. We can't sit on them. They have to start and they have to be productive right out of the gate. But if I know that I can wait and sit on these guys and go, okay, who's going to be the best the next 3 to 4 years? I think it's Darnell Washington. And then my tight end 2 is the most NFL ready tight end, which is Michael Mayer. Mayer does everything really well. He blocks well, he catches well, and he's a good athlete. But he doesn't do any of those things to an elite level. And as we get to the other couple guys down the list here, you'll see some other things that they do really well. Some of them do elite level, but they just struggle in other areas. If we're looking at dynasty rookie drafts, we got Mayer and Kincaid going in the end of the first round. If you're going to use any of those picks, just trade up a little bit, spend a little bit more, and go get Kyle Pitts or Mark Andrews. Right now, I've seen polls you can get Pitts at, the 106 to 107. I'd be more than happy to trade those picks away right now for Pitts or Andrews. But, if you have a tight end in, for example, like Travis Kelce, and you need a guy to replace him in case he gets injured, go ahead and get Michael Mayer. But if you're like me and you have Kyle Pitts in all your dynasty rosters, then maybe go ahead and take a shot in the third round with Darnell Washington, and just let him sit on your bench on your taxi squad and let him develop, and then he can turn into what you want him to be in that elite level tight end. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to my tight end three. Tight end three would be Luke Musgrave. Luke Musgrave is a smaller tight end, but he does block very well, catches well. He has solid hands. I know that he wasn't the most productive player out of Oregon State because, due to injuries and other issues and scheme, but he looks like a nice slot receiver. I think he's just a big tight end, or he's a big wide receiver, plays tight end. I think he has more potential. We know for a fact that he's athletic because he tested out. MathBomb gave him a score of 9+ on RAS. Solid player. All right, moving on to tight end 4 for me is Dalton Kincaid. I know the dynasty community and I've been seeing mocks Kincaid going in the first round, but if I'm an NFL GM, I need a guy to start up right out the gate and do everything I need him to do. I just don't see with him. He struggles in blocking. Yeah, he's great at route running. He's got great hands. And, we also don't know his athleticism. The NFL, they know more than we do, but since we don't have any of his numbers, he was injured, didn't test out. I just can't take that gamble on. We don't know. I don't want to take shots at the unknown. Even if he gets draft capital, who cares? Like, tight ends take time to develop. Even if they go in the first round, they're still not going to be really good until like their third or fourth year. Taking a guy at 109 or 110 in rookie drafts is a mistake. You have other guys on the board like Flowers, QJ, even Levis. I've seen him fall that far too. Take them instead. Those will be longer term assets that will get you more points right off the gate versus just sitting on a tight end. We've seen tight ends like Kincaid, example Mike Gesicki. Yeah, sure, they're great. They got great hands, but you have to scheme them, right? You can't put them on single tight end. You have to scheme them out, and you got to put them in the slot. They're going to be in a committee. They can't do it all. Yes, Kincaid can be an elite pass catcher, and maybe he's a good athlete. He looks good, but we don't know. We don't have the numbers. And we know that the tight end position, there's a strong correlation between RAS scores and being an elite level tight end. We don't have his score. All right, moving on to Sam Laporta. I like Sam Laporta. I've said he's Pat Freiermuth. And right now, his ADP is pretty solid. You can get him in the mid to late second. And I feel comfortable spending a late second round pick on Laporta. I have him going in the second round of the NFL draft too. But you can maybe even spend a little bit more. Maybe give one of those early picks and see if you can get Pat Freiermuth. Right? Maybe use that late second and get Greg Dulcich. Two guys that we know that can do it. They've already done it. They showcased it, and they're improving. I like Sam Laporta, but depending on where he goes in the NFL draft, and depending on the ADP of these guys, I probably won't be getting any of them. I'll be pivoting off and getting a surefire tight end this year because some of these guys' ADPs are very high for me. All right, and some light flyers I like. I like Kraft, Kuntz, Schoonmaker. So I have these guys in another tier 4 for me. Tucker Kraft out of South Dakota. He's for sure, we know he's a great athlete, was productive, and is a good blocker. Some of the issues with him, I don't think he's as refined as he needs to be. But, he graded out as good for me. And right now I have him going in the late second in the NFL draft. Kuntz I have as a third round guy, mid to late third. And Schoonmaker I also have as mid to late third. Both Kuntz and Schoonmaker, both elite level athletes. Kuntz being the most athletic tight end we've ever had. But issue with Kuntz is he is not crisp on his route running. He needs to clean it up. He looks a little clumsy. He looks like he's smaller. I think he's going to put some more size on once he gets to the NFL. He'll probably sacrifice some of that speed for a little bit of weight. I think he improves his blocking skills. I think he can be a solid tight end going forward. A nice guy you can stash on your roster who can develop probably very quickly if given the right situation. And Michigan's Luke Schoonmaker, another tight end that's very athletic. Relatively decent production at Michigan, is very good with receiving, but not to the elite level that we would like them to be. These guys are just they're all projects, but they all have high ceilings. None of them, and I need to stress this enough, none of them are Kyle Pitts. None of them are that elite generational type tight end. All right, and some guys I like you can just take dart throws and I think are diamonds in the rough. Will Mallory, I have him going in the 4th round. Brenton Strange, I have him going in the late 6th, early 7th. And I also like, let's see. Kyle Patterson's another one you can probably get in the 7th round who I think is a pretty solid tight end as well. That could be a good piece that you can, pick up off waivers for, like $1 or $2. If you're in tight end premium leagues, maybe you can develop into something. All right, and that concludes my tight end rankings and their draft capital projections and with their grades. This is part 4 of our 4-part series in our videos. It's draft week. Let us know in the comments if you think any of these tight ends are going to go in the 1st round. Maybe you're watching this post NFL draft, and who was your biggest surprise? Who do you think fell? Who should have rose? Maybe none of these guys even went in the 1st round, and we'll see if they go the 2nd, day 2 or day 3. Let us know if your favorite team got a tight end. As Cowboy fans, we know that we need to get a tight end. I don't think we're going to get one in the 1st round, but probably going to get one in the 2nd. All right, with that being said, like the video, share the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on notifications. We're going to be bringing out more videos now that the NFL draft season has started and we're officially in the offseason with these guys coming in the NFL. I'll be doing film breakdowns on some of the wide receivers here and more film breakdown on some of the tight ends. Go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter at Dynasty Buffs. I'm H. And with that, I'm out.